hello there, how are you? Welcome along and welcome to a London Live special. Tonight we're going to be showcasing the talents of a band who were hailed as the most exciting new act in the UK when they released their debut album in 2005. Now since then, well, that album, it went multi-platinum, also went to #1. They've done a huge world tour and they played with the likes of Paul Weller and Green Day. Now they are back with some fabulous new stuff and they're harder and fire than ever. They're Hard-Fi.
Go to a cash machine to get a ticket home.
Hard-Fi evolved in the early noughties, hailing from Staines in Surrey, the suburban outskirt previously only famous for comedy character Ali G. Their debut album, 2005 Stars of CCTV, was recorded in a dilapidated former minicab office on a budget of £300, but achieved a #1 in the charts, critical plaudits and a Mercury nomination. Their second album, Once Upon a Time in the West, is out this month, and tonight they'll be playing an exclusive gig, previewing tracks from it. I caught up with them earlier on in the day to talk about life as one of the UK's favourite headline acts. Hey, all right then, boys, welcome along.
Hello. Very much.
Richard, Steve, it's your big special. Because it's a profile of you as a band as well, we're going to go back in time.
To the midst of time.
Through the mists of time to find out how you guys met, how it all began, the birth of Hard-Fi. How did you two meet for a start?
It was through a friend. We got a guy who kind of comes on tour with us doing like DJing and stuff, and he does some remixes, and he actually introduced me to Rich long while back, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And
he was sort of Tom, Sky Wrong Tom, he'd say he's our tour DJ. He was a bit of a face around town, and he was just kind of like, you know, I was looking for a drummer, and he knew Steve. Said Steve was pretty hot. Steve was playing drummers for Tom, he was doing breaks and stuff for him, weren't you, that kind of thing. So we kind of like started kicking around, really. And
you were like a jobbing drummer?
Sort of. I was more like a non-jobbing drummer. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But
it was just kind of like there was like a group of mates. You know, you were mates with Tom, and then I kind of knew Tom, and then kind of, you know, sort
it
of.
was a whole thing. You know what I mean?
It was almost a scene.
It was a scene, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you advertised, didn't you? advertised in the music press to get the band together, but actually
we tried,
it was more...
Because it was me and him for ages, and we were looking for a bassist and a guitar player, and we didn't. In the end, we just had to look on our doorstep, and that's how we found Kai and Ross, because they were just in Staines, and it was kind of like we'd tried everything else. We put adverts in music press and all that lot, and everyone who came down was like, it was like every guitarist was like Slash or whatever. So guys, yeah, I've heard your demo.
It was like we tried. I mean, we must have tried every guitarist in London or every bassist,
and they were all awful.
And it was just like, you know, when we sent you the CD of the music on, did you not think to go, you know what? This is a certain style. Me turning up looking like Slash and playing.
Literally,
like really
they all came down with bandanas. All of them. All of them came down with bandanas.
Because we didn't have on the advert. You know, sounds a bit like Enter Here, whatever the latest cool hip band is.
Yeah.
You know, probably Libertines or Strokes at that time. Because we didn't have that, everyone didn't want to know. So it was just like, you know, so it was kind of like...
Everyone just assumed we'd be Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
It would have been great if you'd have filmed that. That would have been great to drop into a video along the line.
Made the best montage of all time. Literally everyone coming through, just different coloured bandanas and a Les Paul, but it wasn't working.
So, obviously, you knew you wanted to be a drummer from a young age, or how did you get into it? I mean, how does it happen where you suddenly go, you know what, I want to learn an instrument, I think music is what I want to do? How did you get bitten by that bug? Is it from influences at home?
Yeah,
or?
my dad used to be a drummer in like soul bands and that when he was young, back in the day, and he had a drum kit in the attic, and one day he took it out, and I just started hitting it, you know what I mean? And it went from there. Always wanted to be a drummer.
How proud is he now, then?
Yeah, he's made up, yeah, definitely.
And did you have a lot of music played at home, Richard? Or did you have older siblings who listened to quite cool music?
Yeah, my brother's very into music, still is. In fact, he played bass in my last band. And I had a cousin as well who was a little bit older than him still, who was just, you know, always into... When you're young, you always look up to your, you know, your brothers and whatever, to sort of go like, wow, you know, it's really cool. And they were into music, they got me into it from an early age, and I wasn't very good at football. I needed a way to attract women. That seemed to be the only avenue.
It's great with boys, it's like, if I can't be a football star, I'll be a rock star.
Try football first, no. What is it next? Right, music.
Yeah, I just don't know, I just kind of loved it. I just loved the whole idea of it, you know.
Now, you mentioned your old band, Contempo. That went a little bit pear-shaped. You were in a band before. Were you signed? You did an album, and then
Yeah, we signed. We made a record with Mick Jones at The Clash, and it was all very exciting. And it was just at a time when no one really wanted to know about bands, especially English bands or British bands. You know, it was all about dance music, and occasionally a US band would come over, and you know, it literally there was nothing in the charts. I think Travis was about it, you know.
And what did you learn from that time? Did you learn a lot from it and kind of used it in your experience with Hardfire work?
Just definitely, like, you know, the music industry, don't trust it, don't have, you know, it's all, you know, a lot of it is just full of idiots. Don't wait around for someone else who kind of is into you when you're hot and doesn't want to know when you're not. You know, either they believe in the music or they don't. It's all about the music, so you just do it yourself and make it happen rather than waiting around for some idiot who's just worried about his bonus and keeping his job.
How good did it feel when you got your success with your first album? Did they all come crawling back? Were there a couple of faces who didn't want to know early days?
Yeah, well, there was just, you know, like my old publisher who, you know, we would sit there and we were totally broke and we were just trying to get like a few quid out of them to help put a record out. I mean, like, not a lot of money at all, and they didn't want to know. And then all of a sudden it's all kicking off again and they want to sign you again. You're like, unless you ain't got a checkbook big enough. You know,
brilliant, such
so
good
that was
feeling.
quite nice. Probably not as nice as for Kai though, because Kai had I had it last time round of going to his boss and going, I quit.
Now, Kai worked for Rent-A-Kill, didn't he?
That's right, yeah.
I love the quote about he'd just had enough of the death.
He had enough of the killing, yeah. And
I think it was a glorious
going on. It was a glorious feeling for him to be able to go into work one day and just say, see you later.
So the best bit was though is that we signed, we put out our record ourselves on a small label called Necessary Records. We've been with us for ages, and then we did a deal with a bigger label around, I think it's sort of like November, and Kai was like, can I stay on till Christmas and get my bonus? Yeah. So he stayed on working till Christmas, got his bonus, and then had the
then left.
Let Her Flourish.